Oh, hi. You caught me reading the Pride Guide here.
Here's my copy. Well, 20 years have passed since the founders of Brooklyn Pride used pencils, magic markers, and scotch tape to make signs supporting the borough's LGBTQ community. And much has changed since then, including the annual Pride Parade.
Well, these days it draws thousands of supporters from all walks of life, all to Fifth Avenue and Park Slope, and then up to Prospect Park. And here to tell us what's in store this year is Parade co-founder Mickey Heller. Welcome back to BK Live, sir.
Good to be here. Sorry to correct you, but it's actually Parade. Yes.
Co-chair.
Co-chair.
What did I say?
I'm not that old.
No, it just wasn't changing there. It wasn't Brian told.
Reading
Co-chair.
is fundamental.
Yes.
Well, we have a lot going on for Brooklyn Pride Week, which has just started last night. We had a wonderful day at Borough Hall with our flag raising ceremony, and last night we were at Brooklyn Academy of Music.
I'm going to put a pin in that until we introduce Gabriel.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Also here is Gabriel Lewenstein, the Deputy Director of Outreach at the Public Advocate's Office, New York City's Public Advocate.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, back to Borough Hall. It's a busy month.
Brooklyn Pride starts. Brooklyn Pride is always the second Saturday in June and the week leading up to it. So we've already started, but tonight we're going to be back at Borough Hall. The borough president has his LGBT honors tonight with some food and refreshments and honoring 4 people tonight. And then on Wednesday we have our interfaith service, because I heard you in the last segment talking about interfaith, and we have our interfaith service at All Saints Church on 7th Avenue around 7th Street. Thursday night we have our free comedy night at Halyard's. A series of LGBT comics will be there, and on right up there on the screen now. And on Friday night we have an open house at Out of the Closet, the wonderful thrift shop, and they will have Harmonica Sunbeam there, and it'll be a wonderful chance. And it'll also be our 5K run packet pickup for Thursday and Friday, and of course we have Saturday.
I see Gabriel taking notes. What do you got
going on over there? What you got going on?
It is a packed month, but it's so exciting to see all of this happening. Like how exciting to see how much pride Brooklyn has. This whole city is just lights up this month, and it's really, really wonderful.
Very cool.
Yeah, well, tell us where you come in.
So I work for the New York City Public Advocate, Letitia James, and as a citywide elected official, it's her job to make sure that the city all over, from the Bronx to Staten Island to here in Brooklyn, is celebrating Pride all year long, really, and making sure that we're continuing to make progress as a community, because this is the month where we get to celebrate all that we've done and where we're going, but there's really so much more that we can be doing as a city, and we're here to make sure that that's happening.
So, Mickey, I know one thing that's happening is that parade, like you said, and we've got some video that we stole last year, but what can we expect this year? How are you upping the ante? They're always doing something over there.
We have some wonderful floats again this year, some new floats. We'll have the whole plethora, everything from women's softball or women's rugby to some of the bars have their floats and their drag queens. And there's the stage from last year, some of our drag queens. We'll expect between 20 and 40,000 people in the audience, and we'll have over 50 organizations are being represented for the parade. We also start that day off with our 5K run, which is now sold out for the 4th consecutive year. We have our street festival with 2 stages. You see one of them now. We have our family fun zone with face painters and balloon animals and crafts to do. And of course, the parade starts at 7:30 p.m.
The only night Pride Parade.
Only Twilight Pride Parade in the Northeast.
It's a party. And
one of our favorite guests is always the Public Advocate. Tish is there. She's been a huge supporter of Brooklyn Pride.
Since before the even citywide days, when she was the rep right here in Fort Greene.
She was my council person.
Oh my God, I love it. And can everyone just come down?
No.
Everyone is welcome, and we're glad. And speaking of Tish, though, we also have something special this year. Usually Saturday closes everything, but on Sunday, in honor of the 1-year anniversary of the Pulse tragedy down in Orlando, we are going to be having Sunday evening a candlelight equality rally for unity and pride, and a candlelight vigil right by the old Stone House. Tish is actually one of the co-sponsors. shameless plug.
Yes.
And it's Sunday evening, starting at 7:30. We're going to have Letitia James, our public advocate, Scott Stringer, our city controller, will be there, Carlos Menchaca. They'll be speaking for a little bit. We'll have a few members of the clergy there. And right at dusk, we'll be giving out about 900 flameless candles. And we're going to be reading the names of all the victims to bring them back to memory and to honor them. And that's Sunday evening.
Amazing.
No, I was just thinking that that's another remainder of the work like Pride is a time to reflect on where the communities come from and to celebrate and galvanize ourselves for everything that lies ahead. And I just wanted to go to your office because you do think about these things all year. So I wondered what sort of initiatives and ideas that the public advocate has been championing.
Yeah. I mean, it is so important to have our elected officials stand up and support the LGBTQ community. You know, we can take this for granted sometimes, but when you look around this country and the world, you really see that it's not a guarantee that elected leaders like Tish and like the mayor and so many others in this city do support the LGBTQ community, and that's something that we really appreciate and are proud of as an office, and know that work means showing up for Pride, and Tish is going to have her Pride Party in Brooklyn this year, and we're very, very excited. But it also means throughout the year doing things like bystander intervention trainings, where we teach community members how to stand up for their neighbors and de-escalate situations to make sure that systemic violence can be reduced. It is about following up and making sure that discrimination that's still happening against the trans community in housing, against the entire LGBTQ community in the workplace, that we can really make sure that those laws are being upheld and make sure that we create a society that is really inclusive here in New York City. So we're following up on that every day as we hear reports and trying to make sure that we look out and make sure that our city is as accepting and available to everybody as possible.
Mickey, why do you feel like it's still important to have the separate borough events?
Well, there are different flavors to every borough, and we know that. We know the Manhattan, huge, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours of a parade, but Brooklyn is more of a neighborhood, and we have families come in. We include everyone. Less of the gold lame G-strings and more of the family-friendly, like the 5th Brooklyn Scouts will be in the parade. The Kings County Fife and Drum Corps will be in the parade. Ooh. It's much more family-oriented. Yes, we'll also have Batala and Fogo Fazul. Well, they're new. They're Latin women's drum band, and they're both incredible. Yeah, so it's a much different spirit and different atmosphere. You will see families, heterosexual families with their children on their shoulders, screaming and waving the pride flags. It's also much shorter, so you don't have to worry about spending the whole day and getting sunburned.
Right.
So we have a great time. And you can get more information at www.brooklynpride.org if you want to still volunteer or get involved or learn about it. We're really excited. We're excited to have the public advocate to be one of our biggest cheerleaders. It's a great time.
But Mickey, speaking about getting involved, much like the public advocate, this is the sort of splashiest, showiest thing that happens with the parade. But you guys are working all year, volunteering. You have special events and nights that you do that benefit to keep the thing going. A parade just doesn't happen every June.
Right.
We are so excited to not just do the Pride Week, but we also organize events throughout the year. We started an event 2 years ago called Dine with Pride, because people like to eat. Yeah. So we meet once a month on the first Tuesday every month at a different restaurant around Brooklyn. We come together and eat. We also participate in other events like Atlantic Antic. We also have our 5K run, which raises money for Brooklyn Pride. So we try to do things all throughout the year. We're just starting a new event called Walk with Pride, where we'll be meeting people in Prospect Park and just walk for exercise and get ourselves healthy again. And we try to work with other organizations, like legal organizations, housing organizations, to try and put information out there.
Phenomenal.
You should talk to everyone who's been on the show already today. I feel like there was already a lot of that happening in the green room.
We were outside watching it.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Well, we've got 1 minute left. Gabriel, remind us where we're going when it's all happening.
Just on that note, we love seeing Pride in every borough, in every neighborhood. There's so many different, Pride is local. Pride should be in every neighborhood, in every house. The Public Advocate was so excited to go to Brighton Beach Pride a couple of weeks ago, where the Russian community had their first ever Pride. And that meant so much for these people to come out and have be visible in their own community. And that was such an important moment to be there for and to witness. And so we're excited to be here in Brooklyn and to have our Pride party here and to be in Bushwick and every other community that's having a local Pride, because it's all comes down to the individual and the community.
So what are we doing this Saturday besides being mad that you didn't get a number in time to run?
Well, you can still come out and support the runners who will be running. We give out medals to everyone who finishes the week. We have the run, we have the festival, we have 2 stages of entertainment, and of course the only Twilight Pride Parade in the Northeast, starting at 7:30 all along 5th Avenue from Lincoln Place to 9th Street. And one last thing, our festival has now been expanded. We used to be from 3rd to 9th. We expanded 2 blocks thanks to the mayor and Public Advocate support. We're now from 1st Street to 9th Street along 5th Avenue.
Well, get out there,
there.
Saturday. This Saturday. Rain or shine.
So much for joining us.
Thank you.